Hello students, I welcome students of standard 10th for the next history class. On your screen, heritage management. Yes students, in the previous class we have already started with this particular chapter, that is heritage management, and already we have completed with 9.1, that was about the sources of history, their conservation and preservation. And today is the time to move on to the next topic, that is about some famous museums. So today we'll take a start and we'll complete only the learnings about some famous museums. Before I start students, yes, I have corrected your history papers. Very first students, please take note, when it comes to the subject social studies, this particular subject is divided respectively in two sections, in two parts, that is, one is of history, political science, and the other part is of geography. Now students, as you all know that you have two different teachers for the same. One teacher, that is myself, I'm teaching you history, political science, whereas Rachel teacher, she teaches you geography. Am I right? Now students, this is for the students, those who did not understand this well, and they have written both the subjects in one paper. I hope you got what I want to say. That is, you did not use the different paper for geography. You have written it in same together. So history and geography, you have written it on one paper itself. Some students, they have stapled it. Some students, they have stapled, and like it was a lot of confusion while separating the papers. As you know students, we teachers, even we are not meeting in the schools. So as Rachel teacher, she stays at Naigaon, I stay here in Virar. So the problem is of the papers, especially the papers in which both the subjects were written combinedly. Okay. Moreover, many students, they did not write their roll number, name properly. Students, next time when you appear the exam, please take note of this. Please write your name, your roll number properly, your class division properly, because then it creates a lot of problems for the teachers. Okay. Next here, with reference to your paper, the first question is question number 1. Choose the correct option and complete the sentences. Students, please take note. You will have to write the complete sentence along with the answer. Some students, they have written the sentences completely along with all the 4 options. So please, you need not write all the 4 options, only the answer part you write. Okay. Some students, they have only written the answers. They have numbered and they have written the answer. Then two students, please take note. You have to write the sentence in full along with the answer. Some students have only written option D, option C, option B, and no words, no answer is there. Only they have written the alphabets of the given option. So here no marks for you. Please take note. As per the board rule, you have to write complete sentence along with the answer. Now student, as the first question was the expansion of scope of historiography led to the writing of histories. So the answer is D option, yes, all of the above. Now some students, they have written literature, drawing and painting, architecture and sculpture. Students, please take note. when the option D is available, that yes, all of the above, means all these answers are relevant, then you have to write only all of the above. Why I'm explaining this to you? So that you should not repeat the same mistake in the board exam. Is that clear? So the first answer, all of the above. Rest of if you have written, so your marks are deducted. Next it comes to B, identify the wrong pair in the following and rewrite. Now you need not copy the question from the paper. It is very you have to save your time. Yeah. So please see that you consume time. You save your time. So need not write identify the wrong pair in the following and rewrite. No need of writing all those things. Only your answer. You have to only highlight, you have to only show the wrong pair. Okay. Next is question number 2. Complete the concept chart. Now students, most of the students, I can say 90% of the students, they have drawn the chart. Very good. But some students, they have not drawn the chart. So marks are deducted. You just can't number the answers and write it. When the concept chart is given, you have to draw the chart. Okay. Then students, question number 3, write short notes. Sohagora, copper plate, annual school. At least write the title of the short note which you are writing. No harm, it will take such a less time. Only what the title is. Yeah, I'm writing about the Sohagora copper plate. So write the title, underline it. Yeah, the presentation looks neat and clean. Okay. Then students, question number 4, explain the statement with reasons. Of course, so please see that you write the statement. And you can take a start from because. Okay. So, Bakar is an important type of historical document because and so. Next student, question number 5, explain the concept. So, 2 concepts were given. Right-based approach and policy of reservations of seats. Yes students, to my knowledge, timely correction was given to you. That yes, it was not policy-based approach. The right question is right-based approach. Yes, so you have written it well. Thank you. Next, the question was, state the objectives of the Indian Constitution. So that is answer in brief. State the objectives of the Indian Constitution. Majority of the students have answered it well. Those who have not, okay, just please have a look over what are the objectives of the Constitution. Okay, then the changes in the democracy are not quantitative but also qualitative. Okay, fine, you have written. Okay, so students, overall, very first, this is my humble request to one and all that please you have 2 different papers, 2 different main answer sheet for history, political science and other one for geography. Don't write all together. Okay, don't staple it. Keep them separately, and even when you're putting it in the envelopes, put it separately. Okay, because when we are separating the envelopes, when we are bifurcating them, then it creates problem. Okay, so fine. Now today we are going to take a start with a very interesting topic, and that is about some famous museums. Students, in the previous videos, I hope you all have enjoyed watching those beautiful pictures. Yeah, Indian styles of art. Yeah, and even I have given the Modi script, Brahmi script. So some important collective pictures were forwarded. I hope you all have seen them. Fine. Today, as I said that even this topic is going to be very interesting about some famous museums. Yes. So students, of course, I have created a good set of pictures. When you will receive this particular video clip of teaching, definitely along with it, you will be getting the pictures, yeah, the PDF of the pictures of different museums. And hope you all will enjoy watching them. So students, what is a museum? Have you visited a museum? Do you have any memories about your visit to the museum? Yes. A museum is a place or a building in which objects of historical, scientific, artistic, or cultural interest are stored and exhibited. For example, the Museum of Modern Art. So students, what is the importance of museum? Museums collect and preserve our objects and materials of religious, cultural, and historical value. They are a good source of entertainment. These museums help to preserve and promote our cultural heritage. Museums are a storehouse of old artifacts, sculptures, objects, history, etc. Okay, then students, we or our country needs a museum. Yeah, that is a need of our country. Why? Why do we need a museum? Is a question. Because museums ensure understanding and appreciation for various groups and cultures. They promote better understanding of our collective heritage and foster dialogue, curiosity, and self reflection. Quite simply, without museums, we would most certainly lose the tangible links to our past. Yes. So what are the benefits of museum? Students, museums are institution. Yes, museums are institutions created in the public interest. They engage their visitors, foster deeper understanding, and promote the enjoyment and sharing of authentic cultural and natural heritage. Museums acquire, preserve, research, interpret, and exhibit the tangible and intangible evidence of society and nature. Yes, students, we have studied the tangible cultural heritage and intangible cultural heritage, if you remember. Yes. So, what do you mean by tangible? Just revise. Tangible means a thing that is perceptible by touch. Okay, means being touchable or real. That's tangible. For example, the forts. And when we are speaking about the intangible assets, they include goodwill, brand recognition, copyright, patents, trademarks, trade names, and customer list, etc. So, students, should museum exist is a question. So, we'll discuss this by the end of this, that why should the museums exist? Of course. So, students, as you enter the museum, yeah, I want just you to think about it that yes, you are entering the museum. Very spacious ambience around, and yes, the visit is always very much enchanting, overwhelming. So, what can we learn from museums? In art museums, visitors are learning actively when they do such things as formulate their own questions about works of art, reflect on their own ideas and impressions, make their own discerning judgments, make their own discerning judgments, construct their own interpretation, and seek their own personal connection. So, this is what, when we visit to the museum, we try to recollect from the museum. You may have many such questions. You may have some ideas to reflect over. You may have some certain thoughts, impressions of your own, and you want to judge them accordingly. You must be having your some personal interpretation. So all these answers you will get in the museum. So exactly what defines a museum? Yes, very first students, a museum is a non-profit permanent institution in the service of society and its development, so open to the public. Please take note. Yeah. So it is open to the public, which acquires, conserves, researches, communicates, and exhibits the tangible and intangible heritage of humanity and its environment for the purposes of education, study, and enjoyment. So that is what defines museum. Now the other question is, what are the types of museums? Museums are classified in 5 basic types. Number 1, general. Number 2, natural history. Number 3, natural science. Number 4, science and technology. Number 5, history of art. And students, a more recent kind of museum is the virtual museum. Now what you will find in the virtual museum? The virtual museum transcends all the types by virtue of its unique electronic presentation and is discussed as well. Okay? So this is something about the museums. And now on your screen. Museums were created to organize and manage the antiquities collected by members of royal and elite families of medieval Europe. Yes, that is very true. So the first museum here we are going to study is of the Louvre Museum, and it is in France. Check out the pronunciation. It is Louvre, Louvre Museum. The Louvre Museum in Paris was established in the 18th century CE. Antiquities collected by members of the royal family were exhibited in the Louvre Museum. It included the much acclaimed painting of Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci, the world-renowned artist. He worked under the patronage of Francis I, the King of France, in the 16th century. The collection of the Louvre Museum increased to a great extent because of the antiquities brought back by Napoleon Bonaparte from his conquest. Presently, the museum contains more than 3,80,000 artifacts. Amazing. Yes, so this is collective information what is given in your text. Now, apart from that, I would definitely like to tell you something more about this Louvre Museum. And then again we'll come to the text content explanation. So students, some collective information about the Louvre Museum is that this museum is the biggest museum in the world. Okay students, you will get the picture and the complete information of Louvre Museum in the PDF along with all the artifacts. I have collected beautiful pictures and I have made those PDFs. Okay, so just need not worry. Right now just pay attention to the teachings. Okay, so as I said that it is the biggest museum in the world. So big in fact that you can hardly tell that you are sharing the space with 15,000 other visitors at any given time. The Louvre was originally built as a grand fortress in Paris and was later turned into a royal palace in the 16th century before becoming a museum in 1793. It would take 100 days to see all the art in the Louvre Museum. The Louvre is the home to the Mona Lisa painting. 4.66% of the art in the Louvre was made by French artists. The Louvre was used by the Nazis during the war. You can just Google it and find out why and how. I repeat, the Louvre was used by the Nazis during the war. Here to the text content I come, as some information is given about the Napoleon. The collection in the Louvre Museum increased to a great extent because of the antiquities brought back by Napoleon Bonaparte from his conquest. Here I would like to speak something about. Presently the museum contains more than 3,80,000 artifacts. Yes, it's very true, students. Napoleon renamed the Louvre Museum during his reign, during his rule. When Napoleon came into power, he put his ego front and center and renamed the Louvre Museum the Musée Napoleon. Muse is a French word, M-U-S-E-E, the Musée Napoleon. So that was the new name given to the Louvre Museum by Napoleon. Further, he expanded the museum's collection by roughly 50,000 paintings. However, these were returned to their rightful owners when the leader fell from power. Yes, Napoleon also took the Mona Lisa into his private quarters and hung the painting for the first time. Okay, so that was about the Louvre Museum. Next is the British Museum, England. The British Museum in London. Yes, I'm reading from your screen. The British Museum in London was established in the 18th century CE. Sir Hans Sloane, a natural scientist, handed over about 71,000 objects in his collection to the King of England, George II. It included several books, pictures, specimens of preserved plants, that is herbarium, etc. Later, the collection was expanded by addition of various art objects and ancient artifacts collected by the British people from British colonies. So here is a picture of British Museum on your screen. Presently, the museum collection comprises about 80 lakhs objects. So here, information is comparatively very less. Okay, fine. I will put some more light on this British Museum, England. Very first, students, British Museum is in England. Now it is London. So in the Bloomsbury area of London. So this particular museum is situated in the Bloomsbury area of London, United Kingdom. Is a public institution dedicated to human history, art and culture. Its permanent collection of some 8 million works is among the largest and most comprehensive in existence, having been widely sourced during the era of the British Empire. Then the question is the British Museum in London free? Yes, of course. Free, muft. Yeah, if on my visit to London, if I am visiting the British Museum, I will see the price first, the charges. Is the British Museum in London free? Okay, so students, please pay attention. This British Museum, founded in 1753, the British Museum's remarkable collection spans over 2 million years of human history. Please take note. So the entrance to the museum is free. A donation of £5 is recommended. So no ticket, but you have to donate. Yeah, minimum is £5. Take note. So there are admission charges for special exhibition and some events. So students, if you wish to have your exhibition at the museum, British Museum, you have to pay some admission charges for the special exhibition or some events. And for that you can book online now to avoid missing out. So just that is something. Okay. So just fine. Some fun. Next question is that what famous things are in the British Museum? Yes, here's a list of the best thing to see at the British Museum. Students, of course, here just I will name what you will see in the British Museum, but in the PDFs you will get all these pictures. So you please need not worry. So something that is really worthy, noteworthy, or very much valuable, very much precious to observe, to watch out at the museum. Number one, the Rosetta Stone. Okay, so the Rosetta Stone is a stone tablet. Second one is the Mummy of Ketbet. Number three, Assyrian lion hunt reliefs. Number four, Elgin marbles. Number five, Lewis chessmen. Number six, samurai armor. Number seven, Easter Island head. Number eight, colossal granite head of Amenhotep III. So all these things you are just preserved, okay, well conserved in the museum. Fine, you will get all the pictures to see. So students, of course, the entry to the British Museum is free. Okay. Now, as you could see the picture of British Museum, what is inside the British Museum? Yeah, I want to just have the overview of it. Oh, no big deal, students. It's only the world's oldest national public museum inside. You will find collection of arts, literature and other artifacts telling the story of human history. Over 6 million people visit each year, which is more than the population of Libya. Just comparison. Then the next question is, of course, how long do you need at the British Museum? Yeah, of course. This is very must question, that how long it will take for me to go through the entire museum. Students, the general count is of 3 to 4 hours. Okay. So the recommended visiting time is at least 3 to 4 hours. But if you are interested in joining some of the many different talks and tours at the museum, then you be prepared to spend the entire day wandering around. So that is up to you. But at the least 3 to 4 hours are sufficient to go around the British Museum. Next, something that, yes, what are the 5 famous artifacts at the British Museum? So on your visit, please don't miss this particular artifacts. As I said, number 1, the Rosetta Stone. Students, this stone is the most important artifact ever found. Okay, so even I want you to pay attention to the Rosetta Stone in the PDF as you will see it. Next is a Sophilos vase, very beautifully crafted, designed Sophilos vase. It's a flower vase. Then Parthenon sculptures, then Crouching Venus, then Bust of Ramesses the Great, then the IFE head, yeah, IFE head, then Tree of Life and Akan drum. So these are the artifacts which are well preserved, exhibited, displayed in the museum. Sorry. So that is about your British Museum. Okay. Then students, here we move on to National Museum of Natural History, United States of America. So right from London, we are moving on to America. And in America, yes, see the picture on your screen. National Museum of Natural History, United States of America. Students, this Museum of Natural History, managed by the Smithsonian institution was established in 1846 CE. It houses more than 12 crore, that is 120 million specimens of fossils and remains of plants and animals, minerals, rocks, human fossils and artifacts. Students, I have tried my level best to collect all these pictures just for you. Okay, and I have prepared the PDF about National Museum of Natural History. Okay, so what about this National Museum of Natural History? Yes, as I said, it is in United States of America. Very first, it is a natural history museum administered by the Smithsonian Institution, located on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., United States. It has free admission and is open 364 days a year. In 2016, with 7.1 million visitors, it was the 11th most visited museum in the world and the most visited natural history museum in the world. Next, students, this museum opened in 1910. The museum on the National Mall was one of the first Smithsonian buildings constructed exclusively to hold the national collections and research facilities. Next, something about this museum, National Museum, is that the main building has an overall area of 1.5 million square feet with 3,25,000 square feet of exhibition and public space and house over 1,000 employees. Isn't it amazing? Moreover, students, the museum's collection contains over 145 million specimens of plants, animals, fossils, mineral rocks, meteorites, human remains, and human cultural artifacts. The largest natural history collection in the world. Yes. Moreover, students, this National Museum of Natural History, it is also home of about 185 professional natural history scientists, the largest group of scientists dedicated to the study of natural and cultural history in the world. So that is about the museum. Now come on, it's time for India. Museums in India. How many of y'all truly love to visit museums? Or how many of y'all think that it is simply waste of time? Yes, I can't force this. I can't impose you anything as such. But of course, students, definitely as a teacher, I would like to say that if you are interested in watching the museums and visiting the museums, then this particular hobby is really very good. Yeah, preserve it and see that you visit the museums. Okay, and some museums here also in Mumbai and some museums here in India. Of course, I have made the beautiful PDF of about the museums in India. Just the places in India where the museums are there. Okay, so fine. Let us start with the museums in India. So, what's so special? Yeah, why should I go to the museum? What is so important about it? And why especially the Indian museums? Yes, as far as the visit to Indian museums are concerned, my dear students, definitely I would like to say that India is a charming country of rich architectural beauty, culture, traditions and historical past. Being ornamental with historical monument, it has a majestic past of Mughals and British that speaks of the history. In each destination, India, travelers can come across a museum that displays the magnificent past of the region. And no tour to India is complete without paying visit to a museum of the city that reflects the culture and history of ancient history in a most beautiful way. There are many popular museums in India that unfolds a lot of unheard truth of a bygone era. So that is what makes it worthy to visit India's museum. Now reading something from your screen. Museums in India. The first museum in India, Indian Museum, was established by Asiatic Society of Bengal in Kolkata in 1814 CE. The second museum in India, Government Museum, was established in Chennai in 1851 CE. CE, remember, that is Common Era? Yeah. The National Museum was established in Delhi in 1949. Presently, there are several museums in various states of India. Usually, the big museums have their own archives and libraries. Some museums are affiliated to universities. Such museums also offer course in museology. Yes, students. Here, I am reading pink color insert. You would like to know these famous museums in India. The following are some of the famous museums in India. Indian Museum, Kolkata. National Museum, Delhi. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya, Mumbai. Salar Jung Museum, Hyderabad. The Calico Museum of Textiles, Ahmedabad. Students, I have given the beautiful pictures to you through the PDFs. So visit Indian museums, if not in actual, but at least through the PDFs. Watch them. You will enjoy the sights. Here something was said about something that is about the National Museum Institute. Yeah, please see the last line here. The National Museum was established. I am speaking something about it. The National Museum Institute of Delhi. Okay, just I want to speak something about it. Students, the National Museum Institute of the History of Art, Conservation and Museology is an autonomous institute of higher education under the Ministry of Culture, Government of India. The institute is a university. Please take note. It is a formal university and is located at Janapath, New Delhi. So if you are interested to go for the higher education in the field of museology, so this particular institution is available in India. That is for your general knowledge purpose, that yes, the National Museum Institute, which is in Delhi, based on this history of art, conservation and so on. And the nature of this particular institution is very much autonomous, that is self-governing, and it is meant for the higher education in the field of history. Okay, you can also study there, and it is very much under the Ministry of Culture, Government of India. Okay, so that is about the university. Next on your screen, following are some of the well-known institutes and universities which offer degree and diploma courses in museology. So this 6 I read it out. Okay, so just keep in your mind that if you for your further career, if you wish to join this particular, if you have this charm of going to this studies of museology, you can try your admissions in these colleges or these universities. Number 1, National Museum, Delhi. Number 2, Maharaj Sayajirao Rao University, Vadodara. Number 3, Kolkata University. It's in Kolkata. Number 4, Banaras Hindu University at Varanasi. Number 5, Aligarh Muslim University at Aligarh. Number 6, Jivaji University, Gwalior. Okay. And now it's time to come to Mumbai, all the way back to Mumbai. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya. Yes. Have you visited, students? You know where it is? Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya? No? It's very close by. It's in Mumbai. Fine. Just see that after the COVID situation, you make it happen and visit this Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya. Once our school picnic was taken there, long back, I remember. Okay? So it's worthy to visit this particular museum. Now, come on, next. On your screen, in 1904 CE, some influential residents of Mumbai decided to establish a museum to commemorate the visit of Prince of Wales to India in the month of November of 1905 CE. So this was the occasion that the Prince of Wales, she was about to arrive to India through via Gate of India. Have you visited Gateway of India? Have you seen that construction, the monumental construction over there? It was in honor to welcome, to commemorate the visit of Prince of Wales to India. And students, you will also find these words which I am uttering right now. You will find it inscribed on the stone walls of that particular monumental construction, historic construction, Gateway of India. Yeah, it's at Colaba, Churchgate. Okay. So on her visit, Prince of Wales, as she was about to arrive to India via waterways, so that was the harbour, the port where she landed, and that was the way she entered India. So that is called the Gateway of India. So the Prince of Wales was very much welcomed lovingly to India through Gateway of India. And on that occasion, she also inaugurated this particular museum. Therefore, students, the foundation was laid of the museum building. Please take note. It was decided that the name of the museum would be Prince of Wales Museum of Western India. Okay. And students, later on it was renamed as Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya in 1988. So recently, only in 1998, this particular museum, that is the Prince of Wales Museums of Western India, was renamed by the name of the great king of Maharashtra of India, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya. Okay. Here is the picture of this particular Vastu Sangrahalaya. See students, this particular site is in Mumbai. Please go watch. It's truly adorable, amazing. You will love the ambience around. Okay. The building of the museum is built in the Indo-Gothic style. It has been given the status of Grade 1 heritage building in Mumbai. The museum houses about 50,000 antiquities divided into 3 categories: arts, archaeology and natural history. So that is about the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya. Just I want you to focus your attention on this picture and simultaneously listen to this information what I am giving. As you could see this Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya on your screen. Students, the building is built in the Indo-Saracenic style of architecture, incorporating elements of other styles of architecture like the Mughal, Maratha and Jain. The museum building is surrounded by a garden of palm tree and formal flower beds, as you could see in the picture. Again, I repeat, the museum building is surrounded by a garden of palm trees and formal flower beds. The museum houses approximately 50,000 exhibits of ancient Indian history as well as objects from foreign lands, categorized primarily into 3 sections. As I read out just, So 3 sections: art, archaeology and natural history. The museum houses Indus Valley Civilization artifacts and other relics from ancient India from the time of the Guptas, Mauryas, Chalukyas and Rashtrakutas. So all this collective information you will get in this particular Vastu Sangrahalaya. So students, please take note whenever you are going to visit a museum, maybe in the world around, anywhere from the world around, or in the country, India, or in Mumbai itself, please don't forget to carry a notebook and a pen along with you. Okay? Because there then you start searching for some writing material when you get some important collective information. Okay? So that's for today. We have completed with 9.2. Okay? And of course, you will get 4 PDFs for this particular uh, topic of museums. Please go watch the pictures there. Okay. Next session, I will start with 9.3, libraries and archives. Till then, stay tuned. Read the text again. Okay. Take care of your health. Okay. Goodbye. Sorry. Bye.